Hello my sexy muffins and welcome back to another video. In this video we are doing Escape Prisoner Striker ex-wife listener scenario. Yes, and a little bit of traits. So first up we're going to be doing disclaimer. Disclaimer, Striker is not an escape prisoner, at least not to our knowledge, in canon, and is just a nice assassin in canon. He is also not yandere in canon and does not have a wife to our knowledge. He might have a whole nother double life we don't know about, but in canon so far we do not know, and he is not yandere in canon, so I hope. So this is just for fun. Sorry, burpsy. This is just for fun, not to be taken seriously at all, and is not as long as you are not illegal or gross about it. Also, as long as you remember to separate fiction from reality, simping for fictional characters and fictional yanderes is fine, as long as you do the rules of that. Anyways, let's do this. So, a little backstory. Striker went to prison in this scenario. I'm going to have it. I might do a how he went to prison, maybe. Who knows? But first of all, he went to prison for kidnapping you his darn life and forcing you to marry him. Of course, you are still legally to marry him and trying his best to get divorced. This is where it comes out, and it's going to start with you visiting Striker to get him to sign the divorce papers. Anyways, let's do this. So, you sat in the prison sitting across from Striker, who was smirking at you. He finally got you to visit him after months of being stuck in this hellhole.
You looking good, darling,
He tells you, smiling at you. You glare at him and push the file over to him. He looks at you, then picks it up, and his eyes go wide.
Divorce papers?
He demands angrily. I gotta be careful. This is like 4:35 in the morning. People are sleeping. The walls are thin. Anyways, back to this.
Divorce papers?
He demanded, looking at you shocked. You just kept a straight face as much as you could. You kidnapped me, killed my family, and forced me to marry you. Why would I want to stay with you? You ask, looking at him.
Because you're my wife.
Sorry, every time I do Striker, I try to slip into a crappy southern accent. I apologize to everyone from the South. My apologies. Anyways.
Because you're my wife.
It's gonna agitate me. Because you're my wife, he says, looking at you seriously. Dead seriously. You forced me to marry you. It shouldn't even be legal for you to do that. You snap back at him, slamming your hands on the table, and the guard looked at you but then shrugged. Striker stands up as well, towering over you.
It's still legal. You are still legally mine,
he says, almost in a growl, towering over you even more. You got a little bit intimidated, but stood your ground. You know that the guards might be lax on some shouting, but you know that they would not let you get harmed, or at least that's what you hoped. He looked at you, and you looked at him. I'm leaving, you said, and you go to leave, but Striker grabs your wrists. Hard. You could feel his nails biting into your skin.
You are not leaving me again, darling,
he says, and tries to pull you to him, but a guard comes over and punches Striker in the face. Why do you hurt the moneymaker? He's so handsome. Anyways. As he punched Striker in the face, Striker glared up at him, and black blood coming from his nose. You take the chance to run out, holding your wrist that had slight blood on it as well. God, you hated that man. How did you end up like that? You would never know. Well, you knew, but how you ended up married to him shouldn't have happened. Finally, you get into your car and drive back down. You were going to pack up anything that you had from your home with Striker and get the house sold so you can move to another ring so Striker would never be able to find you when he ever got out. While you were packing your things, you decide to go out to eat with some friends. The few friends you had. You met them when they actually saved you from Stryker. It was Blitz and the gang, and you became friends with them. You even thought about working for them for a short period of time, but then we're like, nah, assassin business was not for you, and you were so done with assassins at that point. You and Millie and Moxie had a great time while Blitz made you laugh. It was all a great evening. Lovely and sweet. But then suddenly the news kicked on, and you looked up at it as the three of them were leaving. On the TV that was in the little dive you were eating at with them was a escaped prisoner. Your eyes widen and you drop your glass. Your glass shatter into the floor as you see that Stryker had escaped prison. You knew he would be coming for you, so you quickly rushed to your home, praying that he wasn't already there. He shouldn't already be there. And you went to grab your car. Of course, when you got there, you run inside and go to get your keys. Suddenly, you are grabbed from behind. Dun dun dun! And your mouth is covered. You can hear hissing in the back of from behind your ear, and you know that Stryker has a grip on you. He covers your mouth and has a chloroform rag on top of you so you cannot do anything. You try to hold your breath as long as you can, but it is useless. It is so useless as slowly you have to be forced to take a breath. You try to take the littlest one as possible, but it's already enough. You slowly go limp in his arms, and then he smirks and chuckles.
Like I said, you're not leaving me again, darling.
He says and takes you into his arms, inhaling your scent as you go limp in his arms. He was not going to let you go, not by a long shot. He gets your keys and gets into your car, changing the license plate with an illegal one, the fake illegal one, easier than he thought it would be. Once he gets you tied up in the back seat and covered up looking like you were taking a nap in the back seat, he starts to drive down farther down into the rural ways of Wrath. There, no one would be able to find you. He has a safe house, and this time, no one was going to take you away from him, and no one was going to take him away from you. He would make sure of that. He was going to get his happily ever after with you as his darling, but this time, he has to break you in. And if he has to even break off some of your pretty little legs and rip them off, he will do it, because you are his darling, and he is not going to let you go.
You're mine, sugar,
he says, looking back in the rearview mirror at your limp body as you sleep it off. He knew you would be hella mad at him, but he did not care. It was all going to be worth it in the end. He chuckled and drove in as the sun begins to set. No way in hell was he losing you again. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. Should I do a part 2 and a prequel, which is like how Stryker kidnapped you first and then how you got away and how you ended up in prison? Say prequel if you want a prequel, and say part 2 if you want a part 2. You know, do that. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed, and that if you would like to see more Has-Been stuff, they'll be at the end of the thing. And do not request for new ones. I'm doing my best to get through them. I'm doing mass video recording right now. And anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye-bye!